Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at a low profile boom arm from Maono, and this is their BA92 model. So in this video, I'm going to do an unboxing, pretty much show everything that comes in the package. Then I'm also going to show how to set up this boom arm, and then at the end of the video, I'll go over any complaints I have about this boom arm, if any. So other than that, let's begin. So here is the package the boom arm comes in, and it's actually a really nice package. On the front, we pretty much have an image of the boom arm and then pretty much Maono's logos and stuff like that. Then on the back, we have a description of the boom arm and then pretty much all the key features of it. So let me flip this back over. Okay, so as of recording this video, this boom arm only has one color option, which is pretty much black. I would assume eventually they would release a white version, but who knows if they will or not. And you can find this boom arm listed on Amazon for around $80. And if you keep an eye out, they do offer coupons all the time to get the price down even more than that. So now let's pull everything out of this box. So the first thing out of the box was the instruction manual, and this thing will pretty much show how to get everything set up. So the next thing out of the box is the boom arm, and it came out in sections. This section right here is what you would mount into your desk clamp, and then this section right here would get mounted into this first one, but on the end here is where you would connect your ball mount, and then you can connect your microphone onto the end here. The nice thing about these, they have built-in cable management, which you just slide that open and you can run your cables through there. And then these arms are made of aluminum, so it's actually pretty light. The next thing out of the box was this ball mount right here, and this gets mounted onto the end of the arm right here. And then on the end right here, the connection rod, you get an adapter for 5/8, and then underneath that, it's 3/8, and then you have a locking nut as well. So the next thing out of the box was the desk clamp, and this desk clamp can work with desks that have a thickness from 10 millimeters all the way up to 55 millimeters. Then the last thing out of the box was an Allen key, and I will show you what this thing is used for later. So I guess now we can get this boom arm set up. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is take this ball mount and mount it onto the end of this boom arm right here. And the easiest way I found to do this is by taking this wing nut off completely, like this. I have it facing up in the air so the bolt doesn't fall out the bottom. So as you can see, there's a bolt right here, and if you take that out, it should not fall out. And then all you got to do is take your boom arm. It has a little groove right there, and if you can see on the inside here, it has a groove that matches that, and it kind of just locks into place. And then you can just take this top section right here and slide it down, and then take your wing nut and then pretty much screw it back on. I'm going to screw it down pretty tight just so it doesn't fall back off, but you have to loosen it so you can adjust it later if you need to. And that's all there is to pretty much mounting that on there. Okay, so now I'm going to take this desk clamp and mount it to the side of my desk. So the first thing I want to do is actually peel this little plastic right here off of this padding, like this. So you get protective padding to protect the top of your desk, and then on this disc right here you have some foam right here to protect the bottom. I believe this is like a silicone up top here. So to mount this, all you gotta do is adjust this to about the thickness of your desk. As you can see, I got a little bit to go. So once you get close enough to it, you just slide the clamp in, and then you just turn this into where it feels actually secure. And then I'm going to tighten it down pretty tight. I'm just using the side of my desk just because it's easier to mount. I may put it back behind my desk and run it underneath my monitor, but I'll have to make sure the clearance level is actually pretty good. And as you can see, this is not going to go anywhere. Okay, so now I'm going to take the boom arm and actually mount it into the desk clamp. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this bottom section right here, and then I'm going to grab the top section. I'm going to install them together first. So I'm just going to take this post and put it in there, just like this. And then I'm going to take the post down here and install it into the desk clamp, just like that. And that's pretty much it. So now I'm actually going to take the cable management channels out of the bottom here so I can actually run my cable once I decide to mount my microphone. So let's pull those out like that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is take my microphone and mount it onto the end of the boom arm right here. And the first thing I want to do is take this 5/8 adapter off because I won't need it. I'm just going to unscrew this and set it off to the side. And then I'm going to loosen my lock and nut just a little bit. Then I can take my microphone, and then there's my 3/8 connection. I just like this better because when I mount this on here, I won't have any metal color showing. It just looks a lot better. So I'm just going to line this up and try not to be in the way. And then all I got to do is screw this on there into about a position I would find suitable for myself. Just going to keep going a little bit more. I'm going to stop right about there, and then I'm going to take my lock and nut and screw it towards the microphone just so it kind of locks it into place. Okay, so now I'm going to take my XLR cable and plug it into the back of my microphone. And I just kind of have to line this little groove up and to position like this, and you should hear a click. Just like that. And then I can actually spin this around to where I want it again. So now I can do the cable management. Okay, so now I'm going to mount my XLR cable into the cable management channel. And so I want to take one of these cable management covers, and then I kind of want to guess on how much slack I want hanging out the back of the boom arm. I don't want too much hanging out because it'll become annoying, and then I don't want to make it too tight. So when I pull on it, it's going to pop these covers out, and then I have to redo everything again. So I'm going to guess right about there is how much cable I want sticking out. So all I got to do is take this cable management cover and then slide the cable in between this little locking mechanism thing right here and here. So I'm just gonna slide it in like that. And then all you got to do is take the cover and slide it up underneath the boom arm and then find the position where it locks into the little locking mechanism things there. You just slide it over. And as you can see, it is locked into place, and then I can move my microphone without it pulling on it, which is good. So pretty much after that, all I got to do is do the same thing with this arm right here. So let me walk over onto the other side. So I'm just gonna pop it into place like this. I'm really guessing. And it's the same concept. You don't want to have it too tight where this arm becomes unmovable. So I'm just gonna pop it like that and slide it into place. And that's pretty much it for setting up the boom arm. Okay, so when I was going over the contents of the box, I mentioned it has an Allen key, and this is what it's pretty much used for. There's pretty much positions where you can adjust with it, and the main one is this one right here, and it's pretty much the lefty-loosey, righty-tighty thing, so I'm going to loosen it, and this is what you would use to adjust the angle of the boom arm, and that's how you would tighten it as well. And then on the back of that, I didn't notice it when I was doing the unboxing, there's a little flathead screwdriver. And then there's positions on the boom arm, like right here. If you would tighten these down all the way, it would actually make it harder to spin the actual arm. And there's one on the back of the desk clamp as well. So that's what the Allen key is used for. Okay, so before I finish up, I got a couple measurements to go over. So the first one is the max reach of this boom arm. So pretty much from the desk clamp right here all the way to the end of the connection rod right here is about 27 inches. So that max reach is pretty good. So the second measurement I wanted to get is pretty much from the surface of my desk to the top of this boom arm right here, since this one's not really adjustable. And if I wanted to run it underneath my monitor, I like to have a measurement, and it's also good to provide. So right here it looks about 4 3/8 of an inch. So this would work with my monitor. I think right here is about 4.5 inches, so it would kind of just barely fit underneath of there. So I guess it's doable, and I just like to provide that information just in case if people like running their boom arms underneath their monitors. So now I'm going to go over my thoughts about this boom arm, and I'm actually going to start with the things I don't like. And the first thing is actually having to use an Allen key to pretty much adjust the angle of this boom arm. It's just really annoying. It should have been a wing nut. So anytime I want to change the angle of this boom arm, I have to look for this Allen key, which I'm probably going to lose, to be honest. And then the second thing I don't like is the little Phillips head screwdriver thing with the little adjustment screws on the actual desk clamp and then on the back of this bottom boom arm. They don't really work that well. I actually cranked it down as tight as I could. I even used a normal screwdriver. And then once you tighten it down as far as it goes, you can still actually pretty freely spin this boom arm. And that's really my only complaints about this boom arm. Okay, so now I'm going to go over a few things I do like about this boom arm, and the first thing is the actual look of the boom arm. It just looks very clean on my desk, very minimalistic. I just prefer the look of a low profile boom arm over a standard one any day. And then I like when I'm not using it, I can kind of just push it out of the way and not really worry about it. And the last thing I like about this boom arm was the setup process. It was very easy to do, it's very simple, didn't really take that much time at all, and hopefully I did a good job explaining on how to do that. So I believe the pros outweigh the cons with this boom arm, and I would actually recommend it to anybody who's looking for an easy boom arm to work with. And I will have the links for this boom arm down in the description, as long as you're able to get past working with an Allen key, which I really don't like working with, but oh well, what are you gonna do? So that's going to be it for today's video, and I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please drop a like, make sure you're subscribed to the channel for more content, and also don't forget the link for this boom arm will be down in the description. And other than that, I think that's pretty much it, and I will see you guys in the next one.